Good morning, all of you. We will continue with the history chapter, the Indian Mutiny. Okay, and so till now we have seen what mutiny is, what was the nature of this Sepoy mutiny, and what were the causes of the revolt. So we have seen all the causes, the political, the economic, the social and religious causes, the military causes, as well as the spark that was the immediate cause of the revolt of 1857 or the Great Indian Mutiny. Now today we will carry it on and we will have a look at the main centers and the main leaders of the revolt of 1857. Page number 69 in your books. You can turn to page number 69. Okay, so where did the mutiny start? Which place did it start? Yes, come on, I told you on Monday. 85 soldiers, they refused to use the greased cartridges, so they were imprisoned for 10 years. Then the other sepoys, they rose up in revolt, burned the barracks, freed the prisoners by force, attacked their English officials. What place that was? What was?
Meerut.
Yes?
Meerut.
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 Okay, correct. So it started at Meerut. Which date? Which date?
9th May 1857.
9th May, they were, the 85 soldiers, they were imprisoned. They were humiliated and they were
Sorry,
imprisoned.
ma'am.
When did
It's
the
10th
revolt
May.
began?
Ma'am, 10th May
10th May.
1857.
Okay, so 10th May 1857 it started. Now from Meerut, the sepoys, they went to Delhi. So from Meerut, the second step was Delhi. Let's study what happened in Delhi. So the very next morning, the sepoys, they marched to Delhi, and here they were also joined by the sepoys who were in Delhi. And so the sepoys at Delhi, they also killed their European officers and they captured the city of Delhi. Then on 11th May 1857, Bahadur Shah II or Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was the Mughal emperor at that time, he was persuaded by the rebels to be the leader of the revolt. They wanted someone dignified, they wanted someone to be the leader to whom the people would listen to. And so they persuaded Bahadur Shah II to be the leader of the revolt. Then General Bhagat Khan, who was the leader of the Mughal army at Bareilly, he also rebelled, and along with his troops he came to Delhi. So in reality means the one who led the revolt at Delhi was General Bhagat Khan. Though the leader means the nominal leader was Bahadur Shah too. He was persuaded to be the leader of this revolt. Okay, now so thus with this started a mutiny. Now mutiny means we did that it was a resistance to a lawful authority. So with this what started as a mutiny, so what simply started as a resistance, they simply did not wanted to use the greased cartridges. So what started as a resistance now turned into a revolution. So earlier it was simply a resistance. That they did not wanted to use the grease cartridges, but now it turned to a revolution. Now what they wanted? They wanted to overthrow the British government and they wanted independence from the British rule. So what started as a mutiny now turned into a revolution. Sir John Nicholson, who was the commander of the British forces, so with the help of some Sikh soldiers, he succeeded in recapturing Delhi on September 20th, 1857. And then what happened? Bahadur Shah, he was captured and he was deported, means he was sent out of the country. So he was deported to Rangoon, and his two sons, they were shot dead by Lieutenant Hudson, and Bahadur Shah, he died in 1862. So you need to mark this, that when Bahadur Shah died, okay, and where he was deported to. So he was Bahadur Shah. He was deported to Rangoon and died in 1862. So this you need to know. Alright. Next, main center of the revolt, Kanpur. Now the revolt at Kanpur, it was led by Nana Sahib, who was the adopted son of Peshwa Baji Rao II. And so you know, he was not happy with the Britishers because the Britishers have refused to give him the pension of his father. And so you know, along with the sepoys, he captured the city of Kanpur and he expelled, removed by force the British from there, and he declared himself to be the Peshwa. Then his troops were led by a loyal and gallant, very brave and courageous leader, Tatya Tope. And Azimullah, he was one more loyal officer of Nana Sahib, and he also contributed to the success of the Indians over the British at Kanpur. But you know, Nana Sahib, though he was very brave, but his heroism, it is often criticized because of one thing that he did. And what was that wrong thing that he did? That he cunningly, what he did, he killed a British general, though he had promised to protect him. So he promised to protect a particular British general, but then he killed him, and so you know, it brought a bad name to him. So that is why he is often criticized because of that. Then we move to Lucknow. Now in Lucknow, the revolt was led by Begum Hazrat Mahal. So Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal. The revolt was led by Begum Hazrat Mahal, and she declared her son Birjis Qadr as the Nawab of Awadh. Birjis Qadr. Okay, as the Nawab of Awadh. And now in this region, the mutineers, means the people who were revolting, the sepoys, they were very strong in this region, and they besieged, took control of the British residency for a period of 5 months. Have you seen the residency at Lucknow?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
So we are talking about that particular residency only. That was the residence of the British officials at that time. So you know, I have also told you that most of the sepoys in the British army at that time were from areas in and around Awadh. So here the sepoys were very strong, and they took control of the residency for a period of 5 months. And Maulvi Amanullah of Faizabad, now he was also one of the important leaders of this region. And now after the capture of Lucknow, he led the revolt to Rohila Khan, and he continued to fight bravely till the time he was betrayed by an Indian Raja. So you know, he continued to fight for the independence of Indians till the time he was betrayed by an Indian only. So he was betrayed and he was killed by an Indian Raja only. Then Jhansi. Now in central India and Bundelkhand, means now it is divided between UP and Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. The leader of the revolters here was the young Rani of Jhansi, Lakshmi Bai, and we know that the Britishers, they were not ready to adopt her adopted son as the next heir, and so you know, this brought Rani face to face with the Britishers. And now it is said about her that she was one of the greatest heroines of Indian history, one of the greatest heroines of Indian history. And according to the British historians, those who were present at that time, you know what they said? That she was the best and the bravest of all the leaders of the revolt of 1857. Being a woman, she is said to be the best and the bravest of all the leaders at that time. And how she fought in the battle? So she used to dress up in a male attire, male clothes, and she fought like a true soldier with unprecedented courage. Unprecedented courage, what it means is that means courage which was never known before or never seen before, means she fought so bravely, and that no one has seen anyone fighting so bravely ever before. So she fight very bravely with courage and military skill, something which was not seen before. And with the help of her associate Tadia Tope, she captured Gwalior also. But when the Britishers attacked it, she fought gallantly, very bravely. She fought back till she died on 17 June 1858. So she continued to fight till the time she was finally killed. Then Bareilly, the capital of Rohilla Khan, the sepoys, they revolted and they declared a Rohilla chief as the governor, who was in power till the time the Britishers, they took control of Bareilly. Then Western Bihar, Kunwar Singh, see the leader here. He was an 80-year-old landlord of Jagdishpur. So Kunwar Singh was 80-year-old. So an 18-year-old person, he led the revolt in West Bihar, and he was one of the most outstanding military leaders in that particular region. So even at 80 years, he was a very valiant fighter, and he fought bravely till his death in 1858, when his brother Amar Singh, he took the lead from him. Now, the greatest heroes, so these were some of the important leaders of the revolt of 1857, some of the important places connected with the revolt of 1857. But in reality, what they're saying, that the who were the real heroes? Now, the real heroes of the revolt were thousands of sepoys, means those so many sepoys, who without being famous, they never became famous, but so many sepoys and farmers and artisans, skilled workers, common people, those who came in and joined the battle, and they fought very bravely with courage which was never known before by ordinary people. So the greatest heroes were the common people, the sepoys, the peasants, the farmers, the artisans, the common people. And in some places, even the common people, the civil population, they also rose in revolts much before the sepoys did. So in some areas, even before the sepoys could revolt, the common people, they rose up in revolt. And in fact, the participation of the peasants, the artisans and the common people, it gave this revolt its real strength and also the character of a popular uprising. And that is why the Indian historians, they wish to call it, they prefer to call it India's first war of independence. That is why they don't call it Sepoy Mutiny. Why? Because it was not just a mutiny by a few sepoys. Peasants, farmers join in, artisans join in, many places common people also join in. So that is why they take it as a popular revolt, alright, joined in by people from different sections of the society, and that is why they prefer to call it as India's first war of independence, whereas the British historians, they want to undermine, put down the importance of this revolt, and they prefer to call it as the Sepoy Mutiny, means a mutiny by few sepoys. Okay, so that was the revolt of 1857, and we know the revolt was not successful. The Britishers, they were able to suppress, put down the revolt. Let's see how they did it. Now, though the Hindus and the Muslims, they fought shoulder to shoulder, and people also made a very heroic effort, but still the revolt, it was suppressed by the end of 1858. And what happened in Delhi? Delhi was captured by the British by September 1858. This we have already done. Bahadur Shah Zafar, he was imprisoned and he was exiled to Burma, and with his death in 1862, the Mughal dynasty, he was the last Mughal emperor, the Mughal dynasty, it came to an end, and his sons were also killed by the Britishers. This we have already studied. Then in Kanpur, Nana Sahib, he was defeated by the British and he refused to surrender and he escaped to Nepal in 1858, and after that nobody ever came to heard of him again. Then in Gwalior, Tatya Tope, he continued on guerrilla warfare in central India in 1859. You know, guerrilla warfare is basically the type of warfare which is used by guerrillas in real forest. You know, they hide and all of a sudden they come out and they attack. So, you know, he also continued with this guerrilla warfare in central India in 1859, but he was betrayed by a zamindar in whose house he was taking shelter. So see again, Indian being betrayed by an Indian only. So he was betrayed by a zamindar in whose house he was taking shelter, and he was hanged after a very fast trial in 1859. Rani of Jhansi, she died, we did this, she died on the battlefield, and by 1859, all the important, the prominent leaders of the revolt, they were either dead or they were captured. John Lawrence and Campbell, who were the commanders, now by their exemplary, means their examples, their testimony, it shows as an example for others. So by their exemplary courage and military techniques, they brought the situation under control. So John Lawrence and Campbell, you know, they brought the whole thing under control. And but after that, what happened? The Britishers, now after suppressing the revolt, they took stern steps to punish the revolters and those who have rebelled. So though once they were able to suppress the revolt, they did not finish there, but you know, they went ahead to punish all those who have rebelled. And so the excesses committed on the British in Kanpur, means in Kanpur and other places, you know, the Britishers, they were treated badly, and in other places also. So you know, the Britishers, they remembered that how the people were treated in these places, and they wanted to take a revenge also. They wanted to teach Indians a lesson also. And so now, having the power in their hands, they now resorted to inhuman treatment. So you know, they treated them very badly, they tortured them, killed many of them, 100 of rebels, they lost their lives, and even the common people, even they were not spared, and whole villages after villages, they were burned, and people, they were without any mercy, they were punished, those who rebelled and those who revolted. And even, you know, many people who did not do anything, who did not even take part in the revolt, people were punished, they were tortured, and you know, basically all this was done to bring a fear in the hearts and minds of the Indians, so that never again they will try to do anything like this. So that is how the revolt was suppressed. Okay, so for today we will stop here. Have you all understood what we have done today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.